Animal Jam Classic has a big flaw. Animal Jam Classic was one of the top growing computer games in the early 2010s, feeding off of the 2000s online chat room craze. It was one of the top competitive games at its time, similar to Club Penguin, Habbo, Movie Star Planet, Pop Tropica, and thousands of other online chat rooms.
Hey guys, a little bit of an intermission here. Pause the video, grab a drink, grab a snack, because I will be blabbing on for the next 9 minutes. I just want to let everyone know that, so you don't click off the video. You need a drink and a snack. This will be a history lesson. Everything will fall into place by the end of the video. I just want to let you guys know in advance.
Personally, my main two virtual games were Club Penguin and Animal Jam. Honorable mentions being Movie Star Planet and Habbo. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing Habbo right. I'll show a picture up on the screen.
Habbo. Habbo.
Habo.
Habito.
And who remembers Mimoto? Not much of a computer game, but I don't know why they shut it down. Rest in peace. I miss Mimoto. Bro, it was such a good game. Animal Jam had thousands of children, teens, and even adults hooked on this game. Just like myself, introduced to the game by my best friend on a random Tuesday. I remember thinking the game was insanely cool, and I'll never forget the feeling I had when I first started playing the game. I had friends playing the game in my class. I think it was like the 3rd grade, and I pretty much became addicted to the game to the point I would play it after school like every single day. Like I would go to school and then be sitting in class and I'd be like, oh my god, I can't wait to get home and play Animal Jam. Like although I can't find any exclusive information on the most popular year for Animal Jam, I can tell you that the game did hit a milestone of 1 million players come early 2011. And by March 2013, a little bit after I started playing the game myself, it achieved over 10 million plays. We can assume the peak years were its earliest years, and now in early 2024, the new year, the game seems significantly smaller. It has been like that for a few years now. I remember the servers you choose when you enter the game being like filled to the brim. Nowadays, it's a rarity for like 2 or 3 servers to be full. And when it is full, everybody is located in certain parts of the land like Jamal Township or Brady's Laboratory. Brady's Lab. One of the main issues with Animal Jam Classic is inevitably there is no content. Sure, we have reskinned items, reskinned animals, reskinned monthly bundles, and yeah, I can see HQ really attempting to add more content in the year 2023, and even going into the new year, I am definitely not dismissing their effort. For example, every December they include an advent calendar that looks like this, and this year they decided to break tradition and do something like this. This isn't exactly the devs' fault when it comes to updating the game. With the death of Flash back in 2020, many games had shut down, and it makes it extremely hard to update when Flash is not alive anymore. There's more technical things going into it. Hence all the reskins that Animal Jam does. It's because every new item that they put in the game has to go with every animal in the game. So they have to engineer it and put it on every animal in Flash. Every dance, every emote, every direction they're walking in, it is a very difficult and long process, which is why we have reskins. But for my complaints, it's not really actually the amount of in-game items or the reskins. Yes, designing your Animal Jam den and player is a big part of the game. Really, one of the only things keeping me playing up to date. But there's actually something missing. Actual gameplay. I'm not talking Baldur's Gate level gameplay or any 5-star studio game lore. It is Animal Jam after all, but I really do think focusing on gameplay like adventures, in-game events, and roleplay, yeah, I said roleplay, and other things besides forced microtransactions, trading, would make the game 10 times more interesting and actually keep new players intrigued and hooked onto the game. See, personally, I'm a fan of storyline, and Animal Jam actually does have a whole bunch of lore, but for the 10 odd years I've been playing, I actually haven't discovered any of it. Till this day, I haven't even played all the adventures, and really there's no strive to. No other gameplay outside of the adventures themselves make me want to. You're not really rewarded, there's no formula there. Well, there is, but there's like a really big failed attempt too. For example, the leveling up system in the game, it's not really used. Nobody really shows it off that much. Yeah, there's a couple people that are level 30, but it's like not something people really want to do and level up in the game. You can see that there is a vision that Animal Jam was thinking. Ultimately, it ended up as a failure, in my personal opinion. There's just definitely something there that they attempted to do, but it didn't turn out properly. And playing adventures with other players is next to impossible. Nobody really wants to play them. And I just think if Animal Jam really improved on their adventures and advertised it back when the game was at its peak, adventures would be way more popular. I didn't even know until last year that armor actually helps you with adventures. And honestly, I can't even chat with teammates when I'm playing adventures because of the chat system. That going into the other flaw that this game has, and that is its chat system. And everybody and their mama has complained about this. Literally everyone. It is one of the biggest flaws. You cannot chat. The game relies on an outdated AI chat system. And with the uprise of AI in the last year, there are so many better chat models. But as I said previously, they can't really update it. Flash is next to impossible to work in, if it's even accessible. I'm not even really sure if you can still have access to Flash. I've never worked with Flash.
I'm not a boxer. I'm not a fighter. I've never claimed to be a fighter.
I'm like as high as a Roblox game developer at this point. For a virtual chat system world, you think you would actually be able to do a bunch of chatting, but you can't. And I understand implementing a chat system that keeps people safe, especially back during its peak time when a majority of its recommended age range was playing it. And honestly, it still should have a chat system, but the one that is there. On to the next thing, trading. Trading is a big part of Animal Jam, probably one of, if not the biggest thing that keeps a majority of the people hooked. There's actually a bit of formula for this game that's keeping its longevity, and it's not completely dying off like several other Flash games that became downloadable. A lot of players exclusively play this game to trade, sell, and buy items. The issue with trading now is that it's next to impossible to actually trade. A majority of players actually really want over trades instead of fair trades, regardless of what other players will tell you. Animal Jam is kind of similar to an economy where the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Every item in Animal Jam has a item worth in the trading system, and a lot of players go to the main website, the Holy Grail, as some call it, probably just me, Animal Jam's Worth Wiki. Essentially what Animal Jam's Worth Wiki is just a place for where players can like decide worth of certain items based on demand or other leading factors that I don't completely know in detail. So for the quickest summary in trading worth is ran by a select group of in-game players who decide what's rare and what's not rare. Players who do have the in-game rare constantly want over trades, and so there's no circulation. Now, why is this ruining the game? Especially because it's one of the only things within Animal Jam keeping a majority of the players online. The key word is new players. When you join the game, you want to have things to strive towards within the game. Hint, hint. Trading. No, you want to be cool, you want to have items, you want to stand out. When you join Animal Jam now, you're joining about a couple years too late. With trading being one of the only things keeping players online, it's important to have that type of circulation where new players actually have a chance to obtain these items. And it is honestly really hard to obtain items when you first join the game. You know, to each their own experience, some people might find it easier, but for an average player, when you're constantly getting declined, it's gonna leave a player not wanting to trade, looking for other things in the game, noticing, well, there isn't much more in the game, and then leaving. Now, you could disagree with me and be like, hey, Barbecue, like a ton of other games outside of Animal Jam have this sort of system where there's a trading system or a leveling up system, and it does really well and keeps new players intrigued. And while that is true, Animal Jam is actually lacking that sort of formula. Like I discussed earlier in the video, where there's adventures and there's a leveling up system, the leveling up system should reward you in item worth or in some sort of currency that boosts into the game. So say like a couple hundred diamonds, that helps people trade up. Leveling up does not reward you in any shape or form. So it's like two different puzzle pieces trying to fit together. They don't link. While other games actually have that formula where if you level up, you're rewarded and you can boost that into getting more items or into your gameplay to get better and improve. You're not rewarded properly. So nobody is going to use this adventure or anything else. So it's literally just relying on other players trading one another. Now, I know that the whole premise of Animal Jam was not meant to be just a trading game. Obviously, it was meant to be an educational game about animals. But over the years, a game changes, and the problem with Animal Jam is they cannot physically change with the changes of the community. I discussed other factors earlier about that, like how they don't really have access to Flash and other things like that. Overall, Trading is Animal Jam's current day flaw. It is the center of gameplay right now. There's nothing else, and it feels disconnected from everything else that Animal Jam created. And I feel like if they really connected those, found a way to interconnect trading to adventures and adventures to the arcade, and just have it all connect and flow perfectly, that this would make the game much more game-like. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. It's taken about a month and a half to edit this. I started recording end of December into January, and yeah, it's taken a while, but I don't want to blabber too much on how long this video is taking me. But tell me how you feel about the video and just your opinions in the comments, and if you want more content like this, I will give you more content like this. And yeah, I really appreciate it if you would give me a like, and yeah, that's my goodbye.